how can you be direct and honest without being blunt and brutal? Because as an employer, I have a lot of personalities and I have a lot of people messing up and people that need to be corrected. And I have to discern what is the most effective way to correct it.
This is the Atomic Souls Podcast.
Scott has lived many lives. So yeah, I just wanted to I think start off with what was the most interesting life that you've lived over the years.
The most interesting life that I lived probably, I think today my life now is pretty interesting, but my time...
Okay. The most chaotic, maybe.
The most chaotic.
We're going to get to today.
Yeah.
Today is good.
The most chaotic for me was the period after I got out of the military to 2002. So that would have been 93 to 2002. So about a 10 or 11 year period there. 9, 10, 11 year period.
What was going on? Did you leave the military on good terms? What was that?
I did. Yeah. I actually left the military at the end of a 4-year tour.
Nice.
And was at the end of a marriage. Mm-hmm. And when I discharged and got back home, that completely unraveled the marriage. Unraveled at that point.
As it does. Big change.
Yeah, I think it was there before we got home, but I felt safer in the separation when I was around family and things like that. And it was just a really rough marriage that needed to be ended long before it did. But I was very insecure about being alone. Mm-hmm. So, and had a child and things like that. So, but once that happened, it kind of, I got married very young, so I was the first time.
How old were you?
I was 19 when I got married.
Whoa.
And
in the military.
Did
you get married?
Joined the military before I got married, but entered the military after I got married. So I was on a delayed entry. Okay. So got married in between raising my hand and actually showing up to basic training.
Wow. That's a lot at 19.
It's a lot at 19. I did not know her very well. It was very immature, experience, very high school still mentality of love.
Yeah, I think back to my 19-year-old boyfriend.
Yeah. It's just, you think somebody pays attention to you, you think they love you and you think you love them and everything's going to be perfect. And it just, there wasn't enough information between us to even know what that looked like. Right. So, now my mature self is able to look back and be like, of course, of course that's what was going to happen.
We were children.
Not to mention, being in the military, I was away a lot.
Yeah, that's hard.
And
long distance is hard.
It was crazy. But when we divorced, I quickly found myself in a place where I was wanting to get out and mingle and do the things and I had been away for a while, so I had to kind of start over with friendships and all that.
Young 20s at that point.
23.
Yeah.
When that happened.
So out and about in the world.
Yeah, and again, didn't really have an identity, so I was, just I went through a little bit of a cowboy phase, and
I'm gonna need to see pictures.
There's I don't know if there's any pictures out there like that, but and the crazy thing, I'm not a big picture person, so I don't have a lot of
that's fair.
Track record of my history of
documentation.
Chameleon
We'll have to recreate the cowboy phase.
Hell no. just think Garth Brooks in the 90s. That's what it looked like. You know, big black
Rhinestone
cowboy
jeans.
hat, super colorful drapey shirts and all the stuff. Roper boots. And
What a character.
but that was the scene at the time. That was the
Yeah.
popular scene. So that was the kind of the bars and everything. And I got into a, power drinking group and
Yeah.
bunch of bull riding guys and things like that. And quickly just kind of formed some friendships through the bar scene.
Yeah.
And through the bar scene was introduced to some females that ended up being strippers.
Bar ladies.
But
Yeah.
I had become friends with them outside of that environment. But, they introduced me to methamphetamines for the first time, just mostly because it got to this thing where we were needing to sober up before we left the bar.
Yeah.
And everybody was eating many thins and doing all the things that you do. And they just one night invited me to, this will wake you up.
Yeah.
And it certainly did.
Yeah.
And
Was meth your DOC?
yeah.
Okay.
I dabbled all through high school, teenage years with, marijuana, a little bit of drinking, not much, and LSD and just
That's the one does.
basics,
Yeah.
And I'd never even seen heavy drugs. There wasn't even a discussion when I was in my teens in the 80s.
Yeah.
So, cocaine was kind of still
New.
out of our scope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was not as everywhere as it is today. And so I really didn't know that life. And I didn't know really that meth was that powerful a drug. Funny thing is, and fast forward to when I went to treatment the first time. When I went to treatment the first time in 2002, we almost could not get the insurance to cover it because meth at that time was not considered an addictive substance.
In 2002?
In 2002.
Not addictive.
Is that crazy?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would not, because it was not considered something that had...
Because it's synthetic?
No, it was because it did not have a
code?
No,
an insurance code? You can't bill for it?
What is the word I'm saying? Withdrawal symptoms.
Oh, yeah.
And so they didn't consider it. It was a weird time.
I mean, you can't really get detox on it nowadays.
No, you can't get detox, but you can certainly get RTC, residential care for it. But at that time, it was kind of a iffy 50-50 thing of whether you were going to get covered for that.
Could you imagine turning someone away with a meth addiction?
Yeah, just saying, well, that's not real.
Come back when it's a real drug.
But it's kind of what drug is kind of like that now in the
Kratom.
Is Kratom.
Yeah.
Kratom has been
nitrous.
this like, insurance doesn't cover Kratom.
Yeah.
But it's starting to be understood a little better. But for a while, that was like you could not get a detox for it or nothing.
For Kratom or nitrous. Nitrous, I think, is close behind Kratom right now. That one's wild. It's probably the hardest clients we've ever worked with.
Yeah.
In my entire career.
Destructive, but it's like
so
there's
addictive.
this strange gap in the understanding of the medical. I don't know who even decides that stuff.
Because it's not like
the insurance companies.
Yeah. There's no physical evidence because it's out of your system so fast. The half-life.
So
that's wild.
Yeah,
In
that was a
2002.
crazy time. But from 93, 94, literally the first time I did meth, I was all in.
Yeah.
And it was...
but it's not addictive.
Not addictive. I didn't think it was addictive. I just thought it was a superpower. I literally just was like, give me this. Like, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is I was starting a business with my brother, a computer store, at the same time this all was transpiring. And it literally propelled me into I was just awesome at everything,
I could do it all.
I did it all to include running my brother off, who wanted nothing to do with me because it was just, he couldn't handle me. But I managed to get this thing up and running and was making a lot of money, and I was very young and my pockets were full.
Yeah.
And I was deep diving into this kind of underground scene. The rave scene was going crazy then. The strip club scene, the whole 9 yards.
In Austin, or where were you?
That was in Memphis.
In Memphis.
That's where I'm from. So, and from that, also got involved in bikers, and just it just got deeper and deeper, and I was enjoying the excitement. Yeah. I tell people, I lived kind of that rock and roll lifestyle for a while, for a little while. What seemed like for a long time in reality was, a couple of years before it started getting bad.
Okay. Because there's 8 years between 93 and 2002. Yeah. That's a lot of life.
And there's a lot of life that happened in there. I had the store for, 5 years. And it went up, and then started kind of going down. And basically that was because I was, spending more money than I was making, and partying all the time, and showing up to the store sometimes close. Some people would show up and my doors would be locked, and been up for days on end. I got married during that time period. I think, around 95 or somewhere in there, and to a stripper, and
nice.
Of course, also not very well thought out.
Doesn't sound like it.
Not only that, but was hiding my addiction from her,
really,
who was not into that particular thing.
Interesting.
But everything else was still, not good.
Yeah.
It was a sick environment. It was a sick, relationship. It was, I was very sick. So, that kind of, when that ended, obviously, the store ended, not too long after that. And when that ended, I started working in the clubs. And I worked security in the clubs for a while, and was selling drugs and doing the things, and hanging out in some really seedy places, seedy bars, 24-hour bars that just were basically after 2 a.m. It was nothing but drug dealers in there. I'm kind of, fast tracking through this, but towards the end, I eventually got fired from the security job. And so now I'm strictly selling drugs for some heavy hitter people.
Yeah.
And bouncing from house to house. I was living with a meth cook for a while.
Yeah.
It was pretty messy. The meth cook got arrested, so then I didn't have a place to live. And matter of fact, they kicked the door into the house and all the stuff. And eventually I got arrested, and my arrest story was crazy. My first major, arrest was, I was selling dope and doing the things I was doing, and the girlfriend of the meth cook was bouncing around hotel to hotel, writing forged checks, we were just doing all kinds of stuff. And she had called me to see if I could bring her anything, and it was like 11 in the morning, and my first arrest happened with me going to the hotel she was at, her getting stuffed into a police car.
Oh, man.
As she was getting her head tucked in the police car, I was pulling into the parking lot. I was pulling right past them, and she started screaming, "There's my drug dealer."
Oh, man. Jeez, if she was going down, you were going down with her.
I don't know what she thought, whether she thought they were going to let her go or what, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
And where that normally I would have looked straight ahead and kept driving.
Yeah.
That day, for whatever, I looked up, and the officer that was arresting her was an old college buddy of mine.
Oh.
And we instantly recognized each other, and he told me to stop, and I did. And from there, I ended up, I got arrested by his partner. It was a very, I could tell it was emotional for him. It was, it was just one of those things where I think I was just so exhausted. I was just like,
a hot and a cot sounds
just
nice.
in shock that this was happening. I was approached pretty immediately within hours of going to jail by undercover, and they were asking me to set some things up for them. I was fortunate to have a good attorney that refused that, knew that that was not going to be something that I was going to be safe with. And he and my father had some ties in Kerrville, San Antonio, and got me to Starlight. That's how I got to Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
did you do their veterans program?
No, they didn't have a veterans program back then.
You pioneered it.
It was just treatment, and it was a 28-day program.
Yeah.
So I did treatment there. I was basically pre-trial, pre-court kind of deal. So, in my head, I was doing what I needed to do to make sure that I didn't go to get locked up. As I did my second treatment, it wasn't trying to just go back out and jump right back into it, but I also wasn't trying to do a whole lot.
Turn your whole life around.
I never really connected to this idea that I had to change my lifestyle except for not use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was on probation but allowed to stay in Texas because of the circumstances. I was invited not to come back to Memphis. Both, my attorney suggested it, and the people that I had was working with also suggested maybe that would be a good idea.
A lot of enemies there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they were nice about it, but basically said, don't come back.
Yeah.
So I didn't. And I stayed clean for a while.
Okay.
For almost a year. Was tattooing down on 6th Street.
That's wild. I never knew that you did tattoos.
I tattooed for a while. There was an apprenticeship program, and it was mostly drunk people on 6th Street, that we were tattooing. And after a while, being the motivated guy I am, and think I'm smarter than everybody,
of course,
decided that I could do this on my own and not have to work for somebody. So
that's where it all started.
I opened a shop.
Nice.
At that point, my probation ended, was getting to the end, and so I had been asked if I wanted to go out and have drinks, and I was like, a couple of beers is not my problem.
Yeah.
So went out several times like that. No problem. I happened to open my tattoo shop next door to a strip club.
Of course.
So it was very familiar to me. In my mind, it was the best customer base, right? A bunch of drunk people and people that like tattoos and be right next door, which was true.
Yeah.
But also, very quickly, I discovered that I could score some dope. Yeah. And that happened. And within a year, I was full-fledged, back to selling dope, back to the lifestyle, back to dealing with the same type of people, just a different city. And, that ended, how you would think it would end. I was cleaned out. My place was robbed. I had gotten to a place where I wasn't paying rent, so I basically, gave up the shop. selling drugs, bouncing from place to place. It was just a same
back at it,
rinse and repeat type of deal.
How long were you doing the tattoo stuff?
Professionally, like 2 years. You know, nothing crazy. I wasn't great. I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't, anything magical either. I tattooed after I got sober, here and there for a while, friends and family and things like that. So, my wife, Carrie, has a bunch of my stuff on her.
We need a Scott tattoo.
Sure.
We should do one of our anniversary tattoos.
You still got the stuff?
No. I haven't tattooed anybody in probably 10 years. Something like that.
Whoever did my leg, I'm not going back there again.
No, that was bad.
That dude was like trying to find a bone. Like he was digging around looking for something.
Too deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was
That's a goal.
I was pretty heavy-handed.
It's on my bucket list now.
To get a tattoo from Scott.
Smith tattoo.
Yeah.
So that chapter is closed. That's to be honest, like tattooing is one of the things that you can't make a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Like so if you don't do it all the time, your steadiness isn't as good, your lines aren't as good. So I just decided I wasn't going to put crap on people.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Quality.
Yeah. So I just kind of, once we started with the sober livings and all the stuff like that, I was consumed with building something, And one thing, I am a builder. I am I like to create things, and it can be pushed into a lot of different directions, and I like to be challenged. So if I find something I really want to do it, I can't dedicate this over here and do this well.
Split focus. So,
I'm better at it, and I've got multiple things in the air right now, but I know where I can't do anymore. So, so I guess to end the chapter, I got my last arrest was very similar to the first arrest. Possession, manufacturing, distribution, Williamson County here in Texas, and
Were they
very
hard?
very strict.
Yeah.
Gave me an option of 10 years in prison or felony treatment and 7 years of probation.
Wow.
So I took that, and
It's actually nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So my treatment experience was a long-term treatment that was cognitive based treatment.
Yeah.
That that some people would bring meetings in a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And that was my experience, and I have been sober ever since. And
what's cognitive based treatment versus other?
It changing your thinking. It focused a lot on. As a matter of fact, one of the workbooks was thinking for a change, and it's like slowing down, not being reactive, processing information. So we did what they called thinking reports in treatment, and it was like, if we did something we shouldn't have done, we had to fill out a thinking report, which says, this happened, this is what I did, what could I have done better, this is what I should have done, kind of report. Yeah. And you like do a lot of those thinking. Over
very mental process focused.
Yeah. Slow down, and it asks you like, what was your character defect, right? In that.
Smoking meth.
And we had little fold out charts of character defects and all these things, and we would sit in large groups in the mornings and identify them. You could be called out by a peer, or you could be called out by the treatment team. I get called out a lot.
That's kind of cool.
That's why you're so good at it.
You learn how to be very accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things we had to write,
awesome.
we had to write each other up a certain amount of times per week.
Oh, you had a minimum?
Yeah.
Wow.
So each person had, like, I don't even remember what it was. Maybe
Yeah.
3, maybe 5. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But you had to hold somebody accountable. And they had a rule book like this thick.
Yeah.
Right? You never could put your foot, for example, this is just on, you know how folding chairs have that little arm across the bottom?
Yeah.
If your foot was on that arm, that's a write-up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so if you're you left the lint in the dryer, that's a write-up. If you know, whatever. So there was enough rules that you could find something.
Yeah.
And the point was, are you ignoring infractions and letting people get away with stuff because you don't want to write them up?
Yeah.
It teaches you to hold people accountable.
Tough love.
And not only do you write them up, but you go and call them over the intercom.
Oh, wow.
And you ask them to come to the nurses station. And when they get to the nurses station, you read them the write-up.
Yeah.
And then they have to accept the write-up.
Yeah.
And then there's consequences based on the severity of the write-up and things like that. So,
I don't know if people got thick enough skin for that these days.
I know. I really like that. I feel like it, breeds positive accountability.
it's hard because in that environment, you have no choice, right?
Yeah.
You're going to prison if you don't do what they say,
Yeah.
right? There is no, we're just going to kick you out.
Yeah.
Like if they kick you out, you're going, you're doing time. So,
10 years.
It's difficult in a voluntary type environment to instill that because people could just leave.
Yeah, they're like,
right.
"Fuck it,
And
let's do
so,
that."
and that's, you're going to have an AMA issue.
Yes.
Which
As
I
we
like it
see.
too because it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
But
People don't like that, though.
it's not something that you can recreate in a private setting, really.
Yeah.
Not very well.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
They do steel on steel and things like that, but it's not this mandatory
Yeah.
drilled in type of situation most times.
Yeah. Would people fuck with each other and gang up on certain?
Yeah, there's definitely
Bob
some
or something?
retaliation type things, that definitely happened. But that's also, I think, part of the treatment plan is to create conflict so that conflict can be resolved.
Yeah.
I definitely see that in
the healthy conflict.
Yeah, and how to resolve it and how to discuss it. And for me today, y'all know I'm super direct.
Yeah, you're great at conflict.
I have to actually practice not being too direct.
Yeah.
That it's insensitive sometimes because I can be really direct.
What you looking at me for?
We both struggle with that too. Yeah, it's easy to just be like, 'cause, at some point you see a lot of incorrect things and you just want to point them out. But
yeah. So I mean,
hard.
I have really started working on how can you be direct and honest without being blunt and brutal.
There, you can be honest without the brutal part.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have
That
to be
takes
brutally
practice.
honest. Yeah.
Because I want to just blurt it out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it'd be easier to just be like, you're fucking up, and
not belittling somebody in the process, right? How do I? Because as an employer, I have
a lot of feedback.
I have a lot of employees,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of personalities, and I have a lot of people messing up, and people that need to be corrected, and I have to discern what is the most effective way to correct it.
Yeah.
I also have, in that environment, I don't want people to fail.
Yeah.
So my goal has shifted from just, being the classic, I guess, guy just in general that's like, I don't care if you like me or not or whatever.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to make the change. So how do I approach you with your personality, with your talents, with your whatever to be most effective?
Yeah.
So I really practiced that over the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that program is, that model teaches you the basics of it, of how to hold someone accountable and for their benefit too. It's how do I do this so that's your benefit?
But it takes I don't think that it's like anybody that has to mature into something, right? Like that comes with maturing as an individual, that you are able to create discernment in how that works and how that looks. Like it gave me the basics and the ability to do it, but I hurt some feelings, in my lifetime, in my sober lifetime, in saying some truths just because, and saying it in a way that wasn't meant to be well received.
Right.
What I didn't really think about how is it best received. I just wanted to say the truth.
Honest, I have done the same.
Yeah.
I've learned over, especially the last 5 to 8 years. I feel like working in the treatment industry, and I have a lot of ideas, and they don't always come across as the best because I'm like, oh, we could do this better, and I say that, and it gets me it's gotten me in trouble. And so it's the art, and I appreciate how you and a lot of people around you follow your lead in making amends immediately, talking it out with each other. That is just a breath of fresh air. I think it shows the progress that you've put into your holding people accountable and holding self accountable too.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't care. If people don't like me, but I don't want it to be because of something that I did.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't like me because our personalities don't mesh, or you disagree with something about me, and it's just who I am.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right.
And it took me a long time to get there. I used to want everybody to like me, and it crushed me if somebody didn't. And I was very people pleasing, or, would change to fit the people I was in front of.
Yeah.
Today I'm very, I am who I am, and that's okay. I don't, I believe that the right people get put in front of you, and the right people get pushed away from you if you have integrity and honesty and are kind of, I know that I do the best that I can, and if I mess it up, I mess up. I will make the amends as necessary, and then you get to decide whether you want to be around or not be around, and that's okay. I can let that go.
Clean your side of the street. I was
absolutely
talking to someone about that recently, because we've had business partners, but finding you and Carrie has been so different. And even Tracy and Beniz and all these people around you, y'all carry yourselves differently. It's very obvious that you still work a program, you still work on yourselves, and it's helped us grow as people and it's refreshing, breath of fresh air to be around self-aware people and accountability and all of that.
Well, I would say Carrie is the one that deserves most of the credit, because she influenced me quite a bit, in the way that she has grown spiritually, grown just in how she treats people and things like that. It definitely, and she is quick to hold me accountable in how I treat people and things like that, which helps me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ask for a better partner in her, certainly. And, the relationships between us and y'all and us and anybody is based on mutual respect, right? Mm-hmm. It's we see things in you guys that we respect and appreciate, a sense of family, a sense of friendship, a sense of caring, a sense of helpfulness, and all that stuff is what we're looking for. And I love our program, but I also don't think it's just a program. I think it's a model.
Yeah.
That if you take the words Alcoholics Anonymous out of it, or NA or CA or whatever those are, and just look at it for what it is, and you take those words out and just look, these are basic things that we should do to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
You know, and looking at, for example, you know, the society right now is like, it's tough because there's so much just anger and fire being spit at each other. Like it's sometimes tough to watch, especially on social media and things like that. And I want to be able to agree to disagree, and I want to be able to have healthy conversations with people and not have to be like, we can't talk about it, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough thing to watch, and it's a tough thing to watch people end relationships over that type of thing, anything. You know, it just seems like everything's a hate topic these days. And I appreciate people that, you know, I get to know them for who they are, not for what they think over here or over there. You know what I mean? Like, your behavior means everything to me.
Right.
My behavior means everything to me.
Right.
So
went from cowboy, biker, drug dealer to dabbling in treatment to tattoo artist. What was after tattoo artist?
After tattoo artist, and after the whole recycle of all that stuff, getting out of treatment,
How long was treatment?
treatment for me, which that was an open-ended treatment. That was also the hitch to that was
based on behavior.
It was a phase up, and the phases depending on you. You know, how busy do you want to be? How involved in your treatment are you? Those types of things. There was when I'm one of the first people I met there was like 18 months in to treatment. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And being, you know, who I like to be busy and things like that. So like I just did the work, and I was a mess, and, you know, pushing boundaries. So I got a lot of treatment.
Yeah.
You know, I got called out a lot. But I never shut down. I always participated and went through the gambit of emotions. So I got out right at 6 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Went into sober living. Went to Oxford House, which, you know, pretty much back then that was what was here.
Yeah.
We did Oxford House I was in Oxford House for a year. I served on the board of Oxford House. Did not work a program. I was just doing the living in sober house, not using, following the rules type thing. And got a job at the Department of State Health Services in Texas, and just totally accidental.
Yeah.
Just needed a job and went to a temp service, and that's where they placed me. And I ended up staying there 11 years.
Moved your way up. I thought you were telling me and Antonio about that. I was like, that's wild.
Retired from there.
Yeah.
During that time period, as we stayed sober for a while, Carrie and I, you know, met each other. I don't know. I've been out of treatment like 6 months when we met.
Yeah.
And so we met at an event for my treatment center as alumni Thanksgiving event that she was also in Oxford House. So a lot of the people in her house were from my center, and they took her with them.
Nice.
So we met and we started dating, and it was messy, and you know, all the things of early sobriety.
Yes.
And but you know, here we are about to be 15 years married.
That's awesome.
And about to be 19 years total.
Wow.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, what basically happened for us is that we were just working, and I got obsessed with HUD homes.
What's that?
So HUD is like the government where they take over the house that's been foreclosed on by a government loan or whatever. When the housing market kind of crashed, we had been going along, and we had decided we wanted to buy a house and all that stuff. So HUD was really popular. There's a lot of houses that were empty, and HUD is like an auction.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so it's like it's kind of it was just fun. Like it was like you go in, you look at a house, and you turn in a number that you would pay for it. Yeah. And they don't tell you if you're the highest or the lowest or whatever. It's all like
a gamble.
Whoever got the highest wins. So you come with a good number.
Yeah.
So it kind of became like this game. And we bought a house, and the house we're in now, that was our first house.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
Ridiculous, house for what we got it for.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And we were able to kind of get to a place where we had some money saved up, and we decided we wanted to invest in a rental property. And Carrie was actually the big idea person behind the sober living. I remember she's like, we should do a sober house.
Yeah.
And
I could see that.
Yeah.
For women, right?
And I was about to become a slumlord. I was looking at like a duplex or something. We could just be landlords or whatever. And it just, when she said it, it was like,
Let's do it. Yeah.
We had no idea how to do it or anything like that. But
and they weren't around really. It was like Oxford was the primary back then.
Yeah, it was not
like
the market that it is now.
House.
Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
There was only one or two other people. And so we did that. We did another HUD and bid on it and got it, and it was another ridiculously low.
Yeah, that's
crazy. We're very fortunate.
You got to be creative in business, like to do stuff. Like I find a lot of people get stuck in like, oh, I can't do it. I don't have money. You were like literally finding how to do it just out of fun. Like
it was fun. And
great.
And the way we built our business, we own all of our homes. So we have 7.
It's amazing.
And 8 including our house. But the way we did that was basically we bought it at such a low price.
Yeah.
All right. And then the market, when it started improving, it built equity. It was like instant equity.
Yeah.
And so we took the equity off of that first one and used it to be a down payment on the second one. And then once the income starts coming, as you start rolling a couple of houses, you're doubling the speed of how much money's coming in so that you can put it down on the next one. And at that time, it was just filling up after filling up after filling up.
The market was still good back then.
I mean, there just wasn't that many sober houses, and we became quickly like one of the bigger, organizations. I think, Eudaimonia obviously was there when we started, and Bridgeway came after a while after. But the difference was that we owned our houses, right? And when we started, there was 2 or 3 that we all were kind of in that same boat.
Yeah.
Ever since then, most people rent, and it's hard to do what we did.
Right.
We were very fortunate, in how we built it.
Yeah, y'all were slow and strong and steady, and
And we put into it what we wanted to give people. We wanted we were really in it to be a part of people's recovery. Carrie and I spent it seemed like every day after work we were at the sober houses for a long time. A couple of years we did everything.
Yeah.
We've got good team now, and we're able to allow people to do certain things and be able to feel comfortable that each house is doing what we want it to do. Carrie's super involved still. I go out weekly when I'm in town and do a big book study, but we built a culture, and we were very involved, and it's something that I'm sure a lot of people are doing, but a lot of people are not doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's, definitely if anybody sees this and is exploring that idea of sober living or whatever, like find out what the culture is. See if you can find out what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and maybe talk to a couple of clients if possible. So,
what's the mission, the culture? We were just talking about that as well. You have to have that like driving force, and you have to be involved. Like, I think back when I first met you and Carrie, I was impressed with how involved y'all were in y'all's companies, because a lot of ownership is not really involved. And so I found that like impressive that y'all were like actively cultivating the culture. And it's awesome y'all found people to do that on the front lines nowadays.
Yeah, and I mean, even when we built Extra Mile in Mississippi, I spent the first, I don't know, 3 years, I was driving back and forth. I was down there 2 weeks out of every month, living on campus, staying up, hanging out with the patients in the evening times. Like, it was very important to us that this is built based on what we believe is good recovery. Not just throwing together a team and letting them do whatever they do. So,
really building the culture.
Yeah, everything we've built has been understood by us that we need to be heavily involved. We don't need to just put some people there and hope that it goes well. So let's see. So I mean, that basically, like, I had a very accidental climb into the recovery field. I had no intentions I had no desires to be where we are today. I love what we do. I love what we all do. I love what Carrie and I do. I'm not, I'm not trying to build stuff to sell. I'm trying to build stuff to do. I was just telling somebody the other day, they were talking about our, EBITDA, and I was like, I barely know what EBITDA means.
Right.
And,
I don't even think I do.
Not because I'm
sure Mike
stupid,
does.
but because like it's never mattered to me. You know what I mean? Like, I literally, and I call myself, I'm more of a feel person when it comes to how we do things and what we put in place, and does this work or doesn't this work, and am I making more than I'm spending? Right? Like, if we can do that,
if we're in the green,
then
we're in the black, we're fine.
we can keep doing what we're doing. And if I just never have had the mindset like I need to get it this way and this way so I can sell it. You know what I mean? A lot of people out there are doing that, and that's kind of that's fine. But it's just not how we got into it. Right.
I think it's interesting to hear you say you didn't want to do all this. It wasn't like in your plan, because I actively was against working with addiction. I was against working in treatment. I just wanted to do like trauma and women's work. But I had this human trafficking idea and mission in the back of my head, and I was an idiot and realized, it's all connected.
I mean,
so here we are, owning a private practice.
Everything that you just mentioned has substance use in it. So, we're doing that work, you know what I mean? And substances are just a part of that. And when we were, one of the things I talk to our patients and clients about is that, you believe you come here because you have a substance use problem, but you are here to work on a internal problem, and that is typically trauma.
The root of it.
And so once we get past this idea, okay, well, you're not using drugs anymore. So let's talk about what is the thing that makes you think you need to use drugs, right? It's not physically doing that to you. It's mentally and emotionally doing that to you. So we got to get there. And that's the beauty of it. Like, substance use treatment is just, so not about substance use.
It should be.
It really isn't. It's about what drives that idea that something that I'm not okay.
Why am I numbing? I think I didn't realize that being so young when I first started, and I just had my own kind of experiences and was like, I don't want to do it. That's messy.
Yeah.
Here we are with, you didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do it, and we had a mission to help people.
But that's the best, right?
Yeah.
Like I love that I know whether somebody can tell that about me today or not, because it's hard. Like when you get introduced to somebody, they just see this version of you and don't understand where it came from.
Yeah.
Like I love knowing that I know that I was led to this by something outside of me, because I promise you, I never had this goal in life to help people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I had the goal, but I didn't think it would look like this.
I mean, not that I, didn't love to see people get help. It just wasn't in my, I wanted to be a business person.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I wanted to get rich and not work.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's my new
very
goal.
immature thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, it's my new goal.
To get rich and not work.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that, but you have to put the work in first.
Yeah, I know.
I just wanted to have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
I'm
working for it. I want to retire.
But I mean, I probably, I would say it's 50-50. Some people think that I don't work at all, and some people think that I work 24 hours a day.
Depends on who you ask.
Depends on who you ask.
Same with me. I feel like we've had some people or staff. They're like, what do you do? Like, you don't do anything. And I'm like, you just don't see it.
Yeah.
And then other people are like, well, you're always working. It's like
that,
right.
and
I don't get that from anybody. Everybody assumes I'm working 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that is fairly accurate, right? Like that you're working 24/7 because your brain doesn't turn off from that. That's what you love to do.
Yeah, the idea of retiring is terrible to me. I don't want to retire. I want to work forever.
Same. I mean, I also say that if I ended up selling everything today, I would just start something else. Like it's not like I don't have a off button.
Yeah.
But I also don't like being bound. So I think
that's it for me.
The financial freedom of it is an aspiration for sure.
Yeah. I think of Trey, our lawyer Trey goes on cruises for 3 months at a time, and his company is thriving, and that's what I want to do.
I think that comes with being able to master and I feel for me, and I'm okay with myself and say that I can do a lot of things on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
I have a gift that I see a bigger picture, and I'm able to put things in the right place. I'm also, I give the right people the information to do the task that needs to be done. And then I follow up with it. And I check emails constantly, and I'm responding to stuff, and I'm able to do a lot of stuff from anywhere. I play a lot of golf, which is another chapter of me, and I'm trying to be a great golfer.
You play golf more than anybody I know. But
I play a lot.
A lot of business happens on the golf course too. So
I would tell you that's because you don't know all the people that I know, right? And what I'm saying is there's a lot of golfers in our industry that play a lot of golf.
Yeah.
But I play a lot of golf, but that's because I can shift gears when I'm done playing golf, or even when I'm on the golf course. Most of the people that know me on the golf course know that I'm going to take a few calls while I'm on the golf course, and I've learned how to swing a club and answer a question at the same time. And
I think that's the deal for me is I'm self-aware enough to know that my workflow needs to take place in an isolated environment, because I cannot multitask at all.
You cannot.
So if there's any available distraction, it's going to consume me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's the opposite. I feel like we're good at multitasking. Maybe that's why people don't think that we work. Some people don't realize that we're working is because we're multitasking.
I do. And I have to do things outside of certain hours, and I do plan, like y'all know, like I commit a certain number of days to the office, and I can commit a certain number of days to golf, and I commit a certain number, times to my program and to church and to family and to this and that, and I discuss everything with Carrie, like, and we try to like tell each other what we got going on, and I ask, hey, is this okay or is that okay? I make sure that I, am where I'm supposed to be. And I also make sure that the people that work under us have what they need, right? And if they have what they need, they should be able to do their tasks. And I am accessible if they don't have what they need or they run into a problem. I'm never not answering the phone, never not responding unless I'm like right now, right? And for an hour or something like that. So I don't take vacations and say I'm not going to answer the phone for a week. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was like middle of giving birth answering the phone for Megan, the intern.
Nice.
I was like, what's up, girl?
Nice.
I'll send you that email.
Very similar, I'm not giving birth, but same, like,
Always accessible.
I do not want to be unavailable, and it's my job to make sure everything's happening, right? And it's my job to be accessible. So I am accessible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of different types of Scott. What's your favorite? What's the most rewarding of all of that for you?
Smoking meth.
The meth.
Being a dad really is the most rewarding. Like being a husband and a father is like, it's something that I abandoned in my drug addiction. I did not get to really experience my sons fully. My oldest son hardly at all. Which, I regret. And our relationship is good, but different, right? Than it would have been. My second son was a little bit different in that I didn't meet him really until he was almost 4. So that relationship, while he knew me only sober, he also already had a dad, a stepdad, and had a hard time understanding that he could have 2 dads, and was very dedicated to not upsetting his stepdad. So he called me Scott. He still, I now it's dad, but it's like, that took till he was an adult, to change, and that's okay, but it's not the same. But in my recovery, I was given that opportunity to be a husband, a real husband. Our relationship went through a lot of phases before we made the decision to get married, which, was different for me, which I definitely owe to my recovery program and my sponsor, and through that, getting the opportunity to be a parent to Lily. I think those are all really gifts that God gave me because I started doing the right things. And being a parent and being a husband and having a family and security, and just that's the best chapter. I say all the time, if all of it goes away and I have that, I'll be all right. I love that we have financial freedom. I love that we are able to do the things we do, but I am positive that my wife doesn't love me because of the money, and I'm positive my daughter doesn't either. And those two things are super important to my emotional and spiritual health. Right? That was something that I never could grasp. growing up or even in my addiction and things like that, I always had a sense that people were around me or not around me based on what I could or could not give them.
Status.
And I learned how to use that to bring people in or push people out. So learning how to just love from a place of just truth is so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being a parent is definitely my favorite chapter. Being a golfer, being a, like all of it's kind of intertwined, and I'd say that because Carrie supported me for a long time. Carrie made more money than I did for a long time.
That's so funny.
We were living very much paycheck to paycheck for a while. So everything we built together, that's awesome. And
that's awesome.
Lily is just turned 13 and, she is blossoming and a lot of her personality is, I see from myself or, from Carrie and Tara, like she has like this blend of all of us and, it's super cool to see. So
it is.
I'm enjoying that ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Good stuff. All right. Thanks for sharing all the different parts of Scott.
All the parts.
We still need to see Cowboy Scott though.
Well, you'll never see Cowboy Scott. I'm pretty sure you'll never see that guy. There's Mullet Scott. There's
just randomly show up one day, Cowboy.
Memphis Cowboy Scott.
There's Mullet Scott. There's Raver Scott. There's Caesar Cut Scott.
Scott with hair, just in general.
Like
Scott with hair is different. I had fairly long hair in my 18, 19. Then I had buzz cut for military, and then it's been a lot. Been a lot. Long goatee Scott. I had that version.
I think I've seen that picture.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank
like
you.
sitting down and talking, and the redo from Mike's terrible.
Mike is not allowed to host anymore.